folks, grab a seat and pour your drink neat as Whiskers and Whiskeys presents Tales of the Trophies, the SEC's greatest rivalries. Nailed it that time. Nailed it that time. Yeah, if you guys listen to our most recent Hard Knocks episode, so EJ and I just recorded the Hard Knocks episode, wrap that up. We're in his basement right now, enjoying a nice little NFL Sunday, and I kind of botched the past two intros, so getting that one done, that feels nice. But to be fair, it was a pretty wild ending to the game, so my mind's a little over the place right now.
Yeah. I mean, we had the Steelers game go all the way into the last, literal seconds of
Mm-hmm.
overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite a few missed field goals on both ends and
Mm-hmm.
just bonkers plays. So I forgive you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And after a hard, I got a little echo there, so I gotta try to keep it down
Damn.
from my normal boisterous tone of voice. So we're gonna have to keep it nice and easy listening here on KYXQ, coming at you straight out of the nation's capital. All the smooth sounds of 70s, 80s, 90s, and today.
As you see, guys, we're really high tech here. We probably could just buy a piece of equipment and solve this issue, which we will actually like look into in the future. But
We're gritty, salty earth guys here. We're doing you got to improvise, overcome, and adapt.
guys, we're in a basement using Amazon, equipment here, but I think we do a pretty good job with what we got.
I mean, hey, a poor craftsman blames his tools, so and that's not us, baby. That's not us.
Yeah.
Oh, so how's it going, pal? I mean, we've talked all day. It feels kind of weird, but we haven't really, on purpose, I haven't talked much about, yesterday, which was a bloodbath. And I said I saw this one coming. Well, I guess, do we want to get into the bets? Do we want to go into drinks first? What do we want to do?
Sure. Yeah. So as you guys know, we're misking. Yeah. So that shows you this is a football Sunday. We are missing Whiskey Joe here. So in all honesty, he's our drink guy. So
Mhm, mhm.
we're kind of slacking without him.
A
I'm just
rudderless booze cruise, if you will.
Yes. So I'm just drinking what I was last time we recorded a Hard Knocks, maybe. I don't remember, but I'm drinking my Golden Monkey. I still had a few. I told you I love some Belgian triples, and this one is particularly my favorite. So that's all I'm drinking. But you brought a deliciousness that I had a little earlier, but you
Hmm,
want to talk
hmm.
through what you brought?
So speaking of Belgians, this is by New Belgium. It is their Atomic Pumpkin from the Voodoo Ranger series. So this is nice because I can't drink too many pumpkin beers. It's too sweet for me. I just, I have one and that's it. But with this Atomic Pumpkin it is also brewed with chilies. So it has a little bit of heat to it. So that heat and sweet combination, I can have a couple of those and it's delicious. So I definitely the can's cool as hell. It's hard, it's badass. And then yeah, it's just it's good. It's got that little bit of spiciness, a little bit of sweetness. It's got everything you need. Complex flavor palette.
You know what that can reminds me of?
What's that?
Little purchase that the two of us made recently.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
it
it
does.
does.
So we will definitely be maybe we can share it now, but we'll definitely be showing you what we
Yeah,
purchased
yeah,
once we
yeah,
get it
yeah,
in.
yeah.
But there is so the can itself has a skull on it. The Ranger
The
is a
Voodoo
skull.
Ranger. Yeah.
Voodoo Ranger is a skull, and there is a Detroit based apparel
Mm-hmm.
artist named Michael Sana, and he came up with Sana.
Mm.
He came up with he's been around, he's very popular, he's one of the types artists in Detroit where he comes out with a new line and it sells out within a day. So he came out with a line, was kind of crazy for us,
It was
but it was
kismet. It was
right.
kismet.
You had Michigan State, you had a line for Michigan State, you had a line for Michigan, and then you had a line for Alabama. Mike and I bought some shirts, and his sorry, I guess to tie this back to New Belgium is his style is has like a skull aspect to
Mhm.
his clothing. So whether it's like a lion, like a Detroit lion, but it has a skull, like like some of the
Mhm.
artistry has a
Mhm.
skull based in it, or Spartan, or Alabama.
Elephant. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got some pretty cool. I think yours has the crane, right?
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
run a couple years ago, and then the Spartans was the Spartan dogs, which is a phrase that was coined by D'Antonio a few years ago. So that's kind of always stuck around. So very excited
Oh
to
yeah.
get that. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, that in the famous words of Forrest Gump, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Uh but yeah, I mean, if our bets go well, then it doesn't matter. We can buy as many shirts as we want. But this week, I mean, it was a bloodbath. I told pretty much everyone. I said there's no like free money games out there this week, and it ended up being wilder than I expected. And yeah, I mean, I can give us the standings right now. So I am still in the lead at 4-2 after a 3-0 week last week. Joe is in second at 3-3. Doyle is at 2-4, and then EJ yet to win a pick.
Guys. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned before, Pick'em's not my thing, but I don't know. I had a couple of games I liked. I think it was one of those situations that, almost like fantasy football, where I probably had six that I liked, and
Mm-hmm,
to be fair, I think only two of them worked out. Obviously, it was the two I didn't choose.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But that always kind of happens. But like, Alabama, Texas, didn't really think Texas's defense. That was like I expected Texas to
Yeah,
score, but I just really thought Alabama wasn't going to be stopped on offense,
yeah,
and that was not the case. And from the get go, it went, oof, that's going to be hard to find 20
yeah.
here.
Yeah, if
Um,
you watch my quick sip, I mean, I said it. If Quinn Ewers had not gotten injured, or if Hudson Card had two working legs, they would have won that game
right.
easily. I think it would have been kneeling
Yeah.
the ball. But yeah,
Yeah, and I mean Stanford, USC's traditionally doesn't even win in Palo Alto, let alone cover 10. And
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Stanford had three red zone turnovers in the first quarter, and that'll
mm-hmm,
do it for you
mm-hmm,
against Lincoln Riley and that squad. So that didn't look great. And the swamp again.
mm-hmm.
Kentucky has won in the swamp about as much as Tom Brady's won in Miami, which is surprisingly, if you don't know, very
Very
little. He's
little.
he's won like twice in his career in Miami. So
Yeah.
I just didn't, especially coming off of the Utah win, night at the
Mm-hmm.
Swamp. Kentucky was without a couple offensive starters. Just didn't expect them to be able to. I expected a touchdown, right? Nothing
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to be a blowout or anything, but I expected a touchdown win, and you kind of got what you had for me it was interesting because you had two quarterbacks that have been talked about potentially
Mm-hmm.
being first round picks
Yeah.
on display, and you saw how great Richardson was last week, and then you kind of saw like how raw he is in his third start ever. This week he didn't
Yeah.
have a great game at all. He was just out of sync that entire time, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Levis, I don't know, I didn't really come away too impressed with him. He still has the talent, but
No.
gritty guy, but I don't know that necessarily he has the goods, at least as of now.
No, no, I think he's got a long way to go. Yeah, it was a wild day. I mean, uh, you know, I didn't take Notre Dame, Joe did, but I
Jeez,
don't
yeah.
think any of us expect us to, except for Kirk Herbstreit. He said on game day, don't be surprised if this game's tied up at the half or something like that. And then Marshall just with the outright win, and then
By
I mean,
11.
yeah, a stomping. And then, I mean, the biggest, I think, surprise, just App State at A&M, like the fact that they got up, to 2 weeks in a row, and almost like could have very easily been North Carolina and then just putting it to the Aggies in College Station. Uh, Screw Jimbo. No, the man's a fraud. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And then you had like Wisconsin losing at home to Washington State.
Scott
Iowa,
Frost got fired.
Right. Scott Frost got fired finally. And I
Hmm.
mean, I was actually talking to at my retreat. One of the guys is from South Dakota, but I believe he said he went to school in Lincoln. And he's a huge Cornhusker fan. And we were just
Hmm.
saying, like, has
Hmm.
there ever been a guy that was so perfect for a job that
Yeah.
failed so terribly? Because he just should have been, he should have brought Nebraska at least to semi relevance, and it's just
Not
been a train
this.
wreck.
Yeah,
It's been a
yeah, it's
train.
been
It's not
bad.
even just been like people will, give Harbaugh some hard time, rightfully so, that he
Right.
hasn't really brought them to like what they actually are trying to achieve, which is
Hmm.
championships, whether it's Big Ten or larger. But they're in a 3-win team, 3-win teams coming through Harbaugh's like
Yeah. And
locker room. Like
Harbaugh,
it's just not going to happen.
he did have success last year, so
Right.
I mean, granted, it's not
Right,
as
right,
much
right.
as
He
expected to
did
one,
right.
but yes,
Yes,
yeah,
he last year really got that monkey off his back.
yeah, yeah,
But with Frost, I mean, they struggled to even be over 500
yeah.
and get into a bowl. So, yeah, we'll see, and that lines up a big big game for them this week. Oklahoma coming to town, and those the stadium's gonna be packed regardless of who's coaching, who and
Oh
what the
yeah,
team looks like. So
yeah.
it's no gimme going having to go into Lincoln, but yeah, just there's a lot of surprising. Iowa State got the Cyhawk Trophy back. It was
They
the
did
Matt
indeed.
Campbell's first win against Iowa. He was 0-6 going into this game, so and Iowa scored as many points as they did against South Dakota State, 7. I believe it was a touchdown this time, though. I don't
Yeah.
think it was
Two
two
safeties and a
safeties.
field goal.
Yeah. So then you just start to wonder. Purdue lost earlier in the year to Penn State. So is this PJ Fleck? Is he rolling the boat? The Big Ten just needs to really get rid of those divisions, huh? should
Yeah.
should any of these teams really be playing for the Big Ten
Yeah,
championship?
I mean, I don't. I I mean, I guess we'll see. It's still early in the season, but yeah, I mean, the Big
Yeah,
Ten West is looking yikes.
yeah. Again, but yeah, like you said, crazy week.
Hmm.
Hard to
Hmm.
bet. I'm gonna do better here, guys. I don't have a
Oh,
win, so
don't do too much better. Don't do better than
I'm,
me.
I just need to like get a 3-0 week and
Yeah, yeah,
try and
yeah,
get some
yeah,
momentum
yeah.
here. I haven't even looked at what the spreads are for next
No,
week. Maybe
I need to recover after this week before I take a look at next week. So
yeah. So yeah, terrible day. But yeah. So I'll plug it at the end. I'll plug it here. If you have not joined Doyle, our guest, he's our recurring guest picker. He is also like not in the lead here, so you really have a
talks a
chance.
lot of smack though. You
He
would
sure
think he
does.
wouldn't be second to last
No,
with the amount
no.
of smack he talks.
Well, it's because he's not last. So
Yeah,
that little bit
wins.
of that
Well, he talks
morsel,
smack to me. He wins one game a week, and he talks smack to me.
that little morsel of not being last, and it's on me to change that. But hey, guys, if you haven't done so already, you're gonna start at the same spot I am. So it's a long season though. I got how many weeks do I got left? I got 12, 11 weeks, 13. Was
11
it 13?
weeks. Yeah, 11
Got
weeks
11
left.
weeks, just get rattle
Plenty
off
of time.
11 weeks of 3-0. It'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be all right. But for now, fade EJ.
Yeah, terrible. So, okay, guys. So today we are going to talk about the Battle Line Trophy, and that game is played between the Missouri Tigers
There
and
you
the
go.
Arkansas Razorbacks. So let me hit you with a little fun fact here. So
Do
the
it.
name of this rivalry slash trophy was named because of the state line between the two
Mm-hmm.
states divided the North and the South during the Civil War.
Oh, I feel like it's further south than that. Like I feel like if the Mason Dixon line, it is south of the Mason Dixon line, I assume, right? It's just how the Union decided to split itself. Those states split.
Yes, and I will say, don't quote me on this, but I remember Googling this, but I did this research a while back. Is I don't think technically Missouri was part of the Union, but I think they were neutral. So they
Okay.
where
Okay.
Arkansas was 100% in the Confederacy,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
this divided at least that line. I think Missouri was neutral.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
think they were necessarily, but Still, battle line. I don't know how many battles were fought out that far west. I'm not big on a huge history
Not that
buff when
many
it comes
that
to
you
that.
know about.
I don't
Yeah,
think
though
so.
that you
Yeah.
hear about, I guess. But
But this game, so this matchup. Oh, I don't know why I put this here. Never mind. That was not supposed to go there. But yeah, so the name is after the
hmm.
battle line. It's something that is talked about. Obviously, when you share a border with someone, you have that in a lot of these rivalries. So you have a lot of good in-state rivals, and then typically a lot of the other good juicy rivals come from close proximity in states. Although that's probably changing now with the whole landscape. But battle line trophy. When I say that to you, what do you think it looks like? What comes to mind?
Let's see. I'm thinking like a razorback and a tiger in like Civil War garb with muskets with bayonets charging one another. Am I on the money?
You're gonna have to wait to see. I'm not even gonna give you a yay or nay, but I'm really loving the creativity here.
Well, I mean that's you asked me, that's how I draw it up, folks. It's probably just like a normal fantasy football looking trophy.
That's also based on the history of the trophies that we've talked about over the last couple seasons. Is also a very good guess, right?
You ever know, man. You ever know.
All right. So before we get into the trophy, because by popular demand from you and Joe last week, because it's not an in-state rival, we have our little state fun facts.
Yes,
But
yes.
because it is a bordered, we'll say bordered a
Yeah.
rivalry, so I'll even
Hmm.
stick it to there. Like I don't know if I'm going to expand this beyond that when we get to some states that aren't touching each other. But we're going to play a little either or.
Ooh, all right. Okay, nice. I love the new segments are fantastic. So I love either or. Let's do it.
All right, let's start off first. Paul Rudd or Mary Steenburgen. Now, but I know you're giving me that look, and I know I'm gonna have to explain this. That just shows you how many super famous people are from Arkansas. She is the mother in Step Brothers, also the mother in Elf.
Oh,
So a very great actress and has
yes,
plays a
yes.
very funny uh even though it's not directly meant to be funny role in some of these comedies that we love.
Well, I mean, her line that she drops in Step Brothers when they're fighting, the what the fucking fuck? That is one of my favorite lines in that movie. But yeah, I mean, Paul Rudd, he's an ageless wonder. He's America's sweetheart. Paul Rudd, easy. You could have gone with the Quintons, Arkansas, but I'm still
Yeah,
slam dunk. I'm
I,
taking Paul Rudd there
I was just
too.
trying. I tried to stick with categories here. Like I tried to keep
Fair
actors
enough.
with
Fair enough.
actors. Um, and yeah, I think Paul Rudd probably would have stood the test against
Yeah, yeah.
many
Oh, you could have done
opponents.
John Daly. That would have actually been tough. I mean,
Uh,
again, you're going with actors, but
yeah.
like, yeah, John Daly would have been. I would have had to think twice about John Daly and Paul Rudd for sure.
Okay. I'm interested to hear this one. Johnny Cash or
Okay.
Michael McDonald?
Oh, I mean, Cash. Just, I mean, he's
Yeah,
just he's the man black. I
he
mean,
is.
just, and I will say his cover of "Hurt" by Nine Inch Nails is
Sure.
just incredible, incredible song. So yeah, Johnny Cash.
Okay, I was curious because while Jamo be there, a very famous Paul Rudd line. If I Jamo hear this song
That's
one
what
more
I was gonna
time,
say. I was thinking I was gonna try to tie that one
burn
back.
this place down to the ground. But you got the Doobie Brothers and you got Steely Dan, and those are some two big hitters that McDonald has been a part of. So
I do love Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers too. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Mr. Cash, I think.
okay, next John Goodman or Billy Bob Thornton.
Well, that this is hard. I mean, John Goodman is just such a good big man. Many a great voice acting roles. Billy Bob Thornton, though. I mean, I'm not the biggest Armageddon fan, but I do love that. I also love obviously his role in Friday Night Lights.
Pet Santa.
Pet Santa. Yeah. Though that's not even a top 5 Christmas movie for me, really. I'm gonna take John Goodman. I
Yeah,
love
that's
Sully.
yeah,
Monsters Inc. Yeah.
yeah, and I love him in The Big Lebowski,
Yeah.
and well, I wasn't the biggest Roseanne fan. I did like
No,
I
no.
liked him in that too.
That's not even top 5 for me on his roles. Yeah.
Okay, Kansas City style barbecue. So
Okay.
for our listeners here, that's your traditional saucy sweet.
Yeah.
Take it on. So
Hmm.
Kansas City style barbecue or Tyson's chicken nuggets.
A whole style of barbecue versus just Tyson's chicken nuggets. Do I get Tyson's chicken tenders in there too?
Sure, this can be dino nuggets. This can be like the whole
Ooh.
line of
Of
chicken nuggets,
Tyson's frozen chicken products.
which is like legendary
Yeah, I think
compared to the very legendary barbecue. I know.
late night. What has bailed me out more? A slab of ribs versus some chicken tendies and honey mustard. I'm gonna have to go with Tyson's.
I mean, I'm kind of looking for. It's already happening, but like I have a 10-month daughter, which it's like tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to having some of the frozen chicken in the
There you
freezer,
go. There you
for
go.
an excuse. I can't really give an excuse now with my wife,
Oh,
but
sure
hey,
you can. Sure you
eh,
can. Might as well.
yeah. Okay, the last one here. Admittedly, this one was a little bit of a stretch, but like I said,
Okay.
these
Okay.
these
You're
states are.
doing what you can here. You're
Yeah,
doing what you can.
I'm working
You're
with what
giving
I
the
got
people
here.
what they want. There you go.
All right, so Walmart. Kind of hard
Mhm.
to not to talk about Arkansas without talking about Walmart or Enterprise car
Rent a
service.
car?
Yes.
I mean, they'll pick you up and they give you the tools to be your own boss as well. Well, this is just a loaded Step Brothers reference episode. You know what though? I just went to Walmart and I picked up the one bite frozen pizza, which is pretty good. And then Little Debbie makes ice cream now. And we picked up the Nutty Buddy ice cream, the strawberry like shortcake,
Uh-huh.
and honey buns. And I haven't
Oh,
had the honey buns yet, but I had the
yes.
Nutty Buddy. And
Yeah.
Nutty Buddy's not even like that's not my favorite Little Debbie snack.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I've ever bought Nutty Buddies in my life,
I
but
used to
this
love
ice
them
cream, see, I
because I
just
used
like.
to peel the wafers apart, so I'd eat it piece by piece like
Ooh,
that.
I like that. I like that strategy. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go with Walmart just because my last trip there was very fruitful. So
Can I just say for all of our listeners here, I'm equally as disappointed that we didn't get a quick sip, one bite pizza review, especially
ooh,
considering the fact that he likes to retweet one bite reviews, even if they're a bit skewed. So we might
I
need to do that again, and
I
maybe
think
like use my daughter or get a way to get some clout here.
we can do that. We can do that. Yeah, I think we can make that happen.
Okay, well that's gonna do it for us with our either or. And let's see, actually, I don't know that. So we got what? So we had one for Missouri, one for Arkansas, one for Missouri, one for Arkansas, one for wow. So Arkansas won the day. That
Took
was
the
not
took the dub.
what I was expecting.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go. And
you
I
you've got me second guessing Michael McDonald as I think back on his discography now. But yeah.
yeah, it's actually one of those things. I've never been to Arkansas. Have you ever been to Arkansas?
No, never.
So
Never been to Missouri either.
okay, so I've been through Missouri. So I've been through St. Louis, and driving through it. It's definitely St. Louis is definitely a place I want to check out. But I have heard that Arkansas is a whole bunch of nothing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Shocker.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
However, I have heard from a coworker that has gone to almost all, if not all, SEC campuses through like a past job,
Yeah, yeah.
and he said Fayetteville is definitely tops.
Ooh, really?
So a nice little pocket of wonderfulness in the
Huh.
South. I know it kind of
Were
surprised me too.
they were they just there because John Daly or not gamed when I say that I should be more specific. not game day, but the SEC network equivalent, because John Daly was on the show. So I don't know if maybe he was there when they were there.
I don't know because they played South Carolina, and then who'd they
They
start
played,
the?
yeah, they played South Carolina.
That was this like yesterday. It was South
Yeah,
Carolina. I
no,
don't.
they were there because it was. Remember, they had Pittman said he pulled a Kenny Pickett, say he was going to go enjoy a couple cold ones.
Okay.
Who'd they play that first week?
I don't know. It was a good game because
Leach, Mississippi State.
no. Do you want to look it up? Why?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. I can't remember who it was. It was
It was
definitely a matchup because I was looking at it for Pick'em.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't remember who it was now.
Let me see. Let me see. Someone's like screaming onto into the phone here, screaming in their car listening to this.
Uh, Woo Pig Suey. Although I loved it
Really?
last year, the Arkansas was a team I really loved to pick and to bet on last year. I had a really
Mm-hmm.
good feel for
Mm-hmm.
them, and that always happens, right? Like I think yours was you had a really good feel for Western Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
and the Roadrunners. You had a really good feel for them.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
always
Yep. Yep.
fun when you like find that
You,
because it's one
you
thing to
met.
do to
Yeah.
beat to bet your team. Like obviously you usually have a good feel, but then like you always wonder if your fandom's in the way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but when you really find that synergy betting with a
It's
team that you just feel great about.
I can't bet Alabama. My fandom always gets in the way, but I think it's gonna be pretty clear. I'm gonna take them to not cover any spreads this year. They played Cincinnati week 1, so they
Since
were
that's
definitely
what it
there. Yeah.
was. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so why don't we get to the history of this rivalry? So Missouri, Arkansas, getting back here. So the first matchup was in 1906, and the
Mm-hmm.
Tigers won that matchup 11-0.
Okay.
So guess how many times these teams have played each other over the years?
So 1906. Well, for a while there, Missouri was in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say like 1906. I'm gonna say like 60 times.
60.
60.
It's a
Yeah.
good guess. These two teams have played each other 13 times.
Hold on a second. They have a trophy and they've only played 13 times.
Sure do.
Holy cow.
So they played each other in 1906 and would not
Yeah.
play each other for another 38 years.
Oh my gosh.
And then after that meeting, it took another 19 years for them to play.
How'd they even get a rivalry to begin with? The Missourians and
Kansans? It's Arkansans.
Arkansans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did they just hate each other? Like,
They share a line, a border, and there has been a border dispute over the
oh,
years when they were becoming states. So there's a
okay.
little, there's a little,
Okay. So
little something
there's some
there.
animosity. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. So overall, Missouri leads 9 wins to 4 losses, which
Okay.
also kind of
Okay.
surprised me.
Yeah, I would think that the Razorbacks would have the advantage there. Okay. All right.
All right. So why don't you scroll down and tell me, just scroll a little bit. Tell me
Mm-hmm.
what you think of this trophy.
What kind of Mickey Mouse operation is going on here? So, I mean, this is like, well, for teams that have played 13 times, and the first time was in 1906, and then what was it, 30 something, 38 years, and
Yeah.
then another 19 years.
Yeah.
This definitely looks like a trophy that was just created. So, there's even, is that a sponsor on it too?
Yeah. I can't read it. It didn't
Okay.
say exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So it's the two state outlines on top of each other as they exist like on a map and in real life. And then it says battle line rivalry. There is the Missouri mascot on the left, the Arkansas mascot on the right. It's colored in, like it looks like it's just like, I don't know, wood or like some type of like composite material.
Yeah.
um and then there's two glass plaques on either side. I cannot see what they say. I'm sure we'll get to that, but there's two glass plaques on either side as well. I assume that they might etch the winning scores onto those plaques, but we have not seen a trophy like this. I'll tell you that much, because it's not. Like typically, trophies are gold or brass or something, and this is
Yep.
just like some type of composite material printed together. Like it's pretty Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what's a good comparison for this, because it's like it gets to the point, right? It has battle line and big
Yeah,
letters. It uses both colors. It has a mascot as logos, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
just does look
Cheap.
cheesy and
Yeah,
cheap,
real
right?
cheesy. Yeah.
I will say though, one thing that has to be talked about when we're talking about these two borders is like you learned about the chef in like growing up, right? When it comes to geography,
The chef?
the chef. You've never heard of the chef.
What is this?
So if you go 5 states long, so when you're trying to figure out like what state each state looks like, where they're at, you have Minnesota at the top, which is a chef's hat. Then you have Iowa, which is a chef's face. Then you have Missouri, which is the chef's tummy. And then you have Arkansas takes the chef's pants, and then Louisiana makes his feet with the
I've
boot.
never heard of this in my life.
Pull up a map and tell me
I
that that doesn't look like a chef now.
I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. Hold on one second.
It is yeah, you pull that up and I'll give you a little history here. So
Okay, yeah,
um
while I'm pulling it up, yes.
so this trophy was introduced in 2014 when Missouri joined the SEC.
Son of a
um
bitch, it's a chef. The map I have is perfect too because
yeah,
Iowa's yellow. Oh my goodness.
yeah, it's a
It's
chef.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't learn that. That was like something that we were taught. I don't know if it's because we use our hand to show where we live in the state of Michigan, so we're visual
Holy
learners
cow,
apparently.
it's
But
perfect.
yeah, yeah,
It's a perfect little chef.
it's
Well, it's a
America's
big
little
chef.
chef. Yeah, it's America's chef.
Oh my goodness. What in the world? Okay. That blows my mind.
Blew his mind. So yeah, in 2014 they decided when Missouri was joining the SEC that these two schools wanted to make a rivalry out of it, and so that's when they decided to put the name in this trophy with the battle line. And again, the battle line's name was derived from the fact that their border was a dividing factor between the Confederacy and the Union. But this trophy would be short lived because
This trophy would be short lived
because
because it
everyone that saw it
stinks.
decided we should probably find a more permanent solution to this. So I
This
think
is
this was a quick fix. This was
this
a
is
yeah.
this is worse than the Cyhawk, the
Oh, the
corn
corn.
family.
I love corn. Not anymore. It's so juicy. That if they don't, if that commercial, if that kid actually he had a Nebraska commercial like or he posted online saying "Go Big Red" because the
Oh, so he
Cornhuskers.
he screwed the season.
Yeah, so yeah, this little kid. Why he's tried to be a rally, but not even the corn kid, not even
That's
this internet phenom could save the Cornhuskers. That just
doomed.
shows you how doomed they
Doomed.
are. But yeah, so this trophy would only be used in 2014 in
Good.
that first year, and it would
Good.
find its permanent replacement. So you can scroll down
Look
and
at the we gotta post this picture because the guy with the first trophy is like so proud.
I know
Like
with
he's
his
got
bow
his little
tie.
Missouri bow tie
I
on.
know
Oh
he's so
boy.
happy.
All right. We'll scroll down. Oh, oh yeah, that's much better. That is so much better. So this is folks, this is what they have now.
Yeah, yeah. This is the permanent solution.
This is way better.
And you
So
can
the
I think I posted like 4 or 5 pictures here. So
oh
we
my
got
gosh.
yeah.
So this is yeah. Well, oh no way. Wait. Can that be taken? Oh, that gets taken out. Oh my god. Okay. All right. So I gotta start talking about this for people. So so it's an outline of the states, right? And it's in gold or silver. I can't really tell based on the picture. Um, EJD knows if it's gold or silver. It's
It is
silver.
silver.
Silver. Okay, so it's silver, right? It looks like a nice big trophy too. And they've got It is. Oh my gosh, it's
Yes, it is.
huge. They wheel it out on a freaking wow. This thing's awesome. Okay, so it's the outline of the states, right? It actually reminds me of some F1 trophies because some F1 trophies are like an outline of the track in silver.
Okay.
So that's essentially what this is. It's an outline of the two states in silver, and it's sitting on a big silver base that says Battle Line with the same logo as the Goofy First Trophy. And then it has the mascots on it. But the best part of it is that the actual state line, it's like thick in the center and it says Battle Line. And they have a red one and they have a yellow one that they can take out and put in. And this thing's so big. They literally wheel it onto the field. It has a little cart that they wheel onto the field and it's heavy. I mean, it's probably, I would say probably like 4 4 feet tall, maybe. It takes 3 players to lift it. That is awesome that they can sub in and out the line piece.
Guys,
Oh my
I
gosh.
actually have fun facts here on this trophy, and Mike
Ooh,
nailed the height.
did I?
Yeah, so one I will say it was so the was it a fan account on Twitter tweeted the following. It said, "This is the Battle Line Trophy." So it was showing what it looks like. Legends
Mhm.
claim that there's a red bar that replaces the gold bar in the middle of the trophy should Arkansas beat Missouri in football, but few have lived long enough to verify this is actually true. So a little shade there thrown, but yeah, let me hit you with some fun facts here. Oh, and I even have the name of it. So the sponsor of the Battle Line Trophy, so that name that we couldn't read in that first picture, it's Shelter Insurance. So that's who
Okay, okay,
sponsors it. The metal used with silver.
okay.
It weighs 180 pounds.
Yeah, that's sizable.
It is 4 foot 4 inches. So
Nice,
you nailed
nice.
that, and the base is 2 foot and 5 inches.
Yeah, it's huge.
So the weight of the outline of the actual Arkansas and Missouri state is 90 pounds,
No way.
and the weight of each interchangeable battle line piece, 25 pounds.
I love that. I love that. So it's nice and huge. Oh my God. It's got the weight to it. Yes.
Yeah. So the
Oh,
time it took to water for a water jet machine to cut the 90-pound 2.5-inch thick outline of Missouri and Arkansas was 40 consecutive hours.
40 hours.
Mhm.
Oh my
And because
gosh.
of the precision of and quality of the cut
It's,
and thickness of the steel, the water jet could only cut about 1 inch per hour because
I
it's
mean,
just because it is like,
yeah, it is extremely precise. Like
yeah, it's out of a map.
I can't state enough how precise this line is. It looks really cool.
The time of hand polish it takes during the production was 30 hours. So about 3.5 days worth, 30 hours over 3.5 days.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. What is this one? It says because of the size and weight of the trophy, it took the second largest tank in North America and 4 workers to hold the trophy during the silver plating. So it was a
Oh,
400-gallon tank that it had to sit in while they were like trying to forge the metals together.
wow.
And then it took 3 states to produce it. So the main production of the trophy occurred in Arkansas, but segments of the process also occurred in California and Maryland.
Damn. That's better than the first trophy. It looks like they just slapped it together.
Yeah, and
Like,
I think that that was probably a consensus from everyone involved, beside the bow tie guy, that maybe this was, rushed. It was a good thing that they wanted to do something and bring
right, right.
some heat to a rivalry where they would see each other much more consistently, play
Hmm,
each other much
hmm,
more consistently.
hmm.
But yeah, maybe the execution was a bit rushed.
I wonder if they had this idea in mind the entire time and they're like, well, it's not ready for the first game where they're going to roll it out. So we got to
Yeah,
roll something out there because I mean, it's essentially the same thing. Just
yeah,
one looks like just slapped together last minute. And this one is, I mean, a lot of time and effort and energy was poured into this bad boy. It looks awesome.
yeah. So in 2015, Missouri's second year in the SEC is when this trophy was introduced. Former Razorback football student athlete David Basil was the designer and project lead. And Mr. Basil also created the Golden Boot. which is an annual trophy
Oh,
between the winner of Arkansas and LSU that we will talk about at another time.
he's not a very creative guy. It's essentially the exact same trophy.
Well, why did you spoil that for the listeners there, Michael?
I mean, I feel like the golden boot you see quite a bit, but yeah. Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah, so he also created the Broyles Award and numerous other trophies and awards. So this guy seems to be a trophy designer here.
You know what I was gonna say too? Like when you asked at the beginning what you think this trophy looks like, I was gonna say I bet it looks a lot like the golden boot. Like I was obviously trying to get a laugh for the folks, but I mean I thought about this. I'm like, okay, battle line, like that just makes sense to have the state lines. And I was gonna guess it looks a lot like the golden boot. Sure enough.
Well, there you go. So a little history lesson here. The Encyclopedia of Arkansas. So I don't know how accurate this is. It looked pretty legit and accurate. So identifies the primary border dispute between Missouri and Arkansas as the confusion over the little boot heel, which is that little nubbin,
Oh yeah,
little nub that
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
extends south from Missouri, which is part of Missouri, into
Right,
Arkansas. That
right.
little tail there. So no one ever battled for it. But it was originally just supposed to be a pretty straight line. Um, but a guy named John Hardiman Walker, who was a wealthy landowner who lived in that area at the time,
Mm-hmm.
heard about like the statehood being proposed
Uh-huh.
for Arkansas and Missouri, and he is credited, although there isn't any like proof,
Mm-hmm.
like written proof anymore that he did
Mm-hmm.
this. It's kind of like a folklore, but
Mm-hmm.
essentially he was credited for essentially stealing this piece, that little
Get
nub
out.
from Arkansas to Missouri. Yeah.
Huh.
So he persuaded legislature at the time to include that and a couple other parts of northern Arkansas, or was going to be northern
Yeah,
Arkansas,
yeah, yeah.
to be in Missouri instead.
Holy cow. That's it's crazy when you think about stuff like that too. Like back in the day, it's like, hey, this piece of land here, how about we just take it? And that's gonna be ours now.
Yeah, or you just have like folklore. Like I'm pretty sure this is accurate. I probably should know because I'm a Michigander. But at one point, Toledo was in Michigan, and
Oh, really?
Ohio had the Upper Peninsula, and so there was like an even,
What?
yeah. Well, because at that point you just grab whatever you can, whether
Well, the Upper Peninsula makes sense, but Toledo, that's
yeah.
like, hmm,
So they swapped it. So we gave them Toledo to get the UP.
okay.
Yeah. So you have those little things. And apparently this little boot heel had a reputation for being lawless for years.
Ah,
So it wasn't necessarily like the greatest addition, but
guys, like, you know what? Screw it.
land's land.
Yeah, take what we can get.
Um, that's it for us.
Wow. Okay. I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
this is a story fitting for a matchup that's happened 13 times in 114
yeah.
years.
Well, I mean, holy cow. Yeah, it's not really the matchup, but like the trophy itself. I mean, I guess we'll go ahead and get into the rankings here, and if you'll give me just one moment here, I'll pull up the rankings so I can write everything down. Let's see.
Yeah, I
Delay.
mean, and that's the thing. Like when I was looking, typically because now we're really splitting some of the trophy and the rivalry itself. It's just there honestly wasn't too many
Right.
noteworthy meetings, and I will say of the 13, there were a couple bowl game
Mm-hmm. Oh
matchups,
wow. Okay. Okay.
but yeah, I mean for the
All
most
right.
part, it is yeah, it is just kind of there. It's
All
something
right.
they're building towards. It looks like they've
Mm-hmm.
played each
Mm-hmm.
other consecutively from since 2014. So
Okay. All right.
they're trying to build this.
Well, I'll get into it here. So I'll go looks 5. Easy 5. That thing was dope as hell. I mean, the first one stinks, but this is it's a 5 for me. Looks so cool. Just the precision that goes into it. Like this is really thinking about the trophy. And it can't be said enough. The fact that the piece that you can take out, put back in the actual battle line itself, really nice. I like that. The history, I mean, like, yeah, the history of the trophy. It's not very historic or anything like that, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, history of the trophy. There's not really much. So, I like a one. Uh, the rivalry itself. I mean, I guess a two. You know, like they are conference rivals now. I'm kind of like giving it. I may give it a 1.5 because I think that the it could grow. It could grow into
Sure.
something. And then the competitiveness, I mean, the Hogs are really good right now. Missouri's not, so I'm gonna say two.
Okay. Yeah, because the Missouri, even though it doesn't make geographical sense, is in the east, right? So they don't.
Yes.
They're not even like um
Yeah, they're one's in the east, one's in
division.
the west. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So for me, the looks, I'm with you. I mean, this is just beauty. Like when you think
Oh yeah.
of a trophy, especially one that's new. We've seen plenty that have missed the mark, just didn't feel right. But this adds just precision with girth, with weight,
Wait. Yeah.
with height, with it looks awesome. It's interchangeable. Like I'm with you. I think this is a 5. I think this is going to be this is a good standard. While it isn't old and it doesn't necessarily have like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of history to it, I think if you're especially trust me when I'm looking at interesting facts about both states, I think
Mm-hmm.
like the
Mm-hmm.
battle line and the state line thing was a good idea.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
I think that was good. So yeah, 4 or 5 for me for looks. History, yeah, I said 1.5. And I really the 0.5 is just because I mean again, like I love the idea that they wanted to start a rivalry. Every rivalry has to start somewhere, even if this one started at 2014. But 13 matchups, so it's not one of those ones where it's like they started the trophy out of nowhere after playing each
Mm-hmm.
other for 40
Mm-hmm.
years. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
1.5. I mean, there's just nothing to it. Glad they did it. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
The rivalry, put a 1 again. Like when you play each other only 13 times, it's really hard to call yourself a
Yeah. Yeah.
rivalry.
Yeah.
And then competitiveness a 2, yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
even in those 13 games, it's been very one-sided.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which has surprised me, but yeah, Arkansas just really hasn't
Well,
done a
when
great
they
job
started
there.
playing 2014,
Yeah, I don't think I can double check. I actually have it pulled up.
JT
Missouri,
Daniels, was that JT Daniels
JT Daniels, he's currently playing.
or not? Chase Daniels. Chase Daniels.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I will say of the since 2014, um, Missouri's been ranked once, and Arkansas was ranked last year.
Mm-hmm.
So there hasn't even been like ranked matchups
Yeah.
here. So
What tier are you putting this in, by the way? I'm putting mine the bottom, but
I've got to put in the bottom, and it's a
yeah.
shame because we did it
Yeah.
last year and how we did it, um, where we took everything into account. But as far as like trophy itself,
Top tier
it,
trophy.
it's
Yeah.
it's a top tier trophy that
Yeah.
just doesn't have enough history and rivalry behind it
Right.
yet.
Right. Yeah. 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 I agree. Bottom tier for me for the exact same reasons. Top tier trophy, but bottom tier rivalry itself. So
Yeah. And then this game is going to be played the last week of the season, like most of them. So it is a tradition they're trying to do. This is their rivalry game between the two of them. Arkansas has a few more rivals that we are going to talk about and has a few more trophies. But this is played in Thanksgiving, so we will talk. We will give a preview of this game closer to that week. So yeah, this is a short and sweet one here. This is gonna do it for us this week. So follow us on Instagram at whiskers.whiskies and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to check out our Saturday morning bets and please send us your favorite bets for the weekend.
sharing
And
is caring.
sharing is caring. And remember, you're going to start off exactly where I am. So I'm just I gave a couple weeks to I spotted Joe in like a couple weeks, but this week's the week.
Yeah. Says a guy who hasn't even looked at the board yet.
We'll return it up here. So join us next week when we talk about the Southwest Classic Trophy.
Ooh.
For Mike and Joe, I'm EJ. Always remember, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is good enough.
Cheers, boys.